Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Arrowhead, and I am back with more Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney 4, whatever you want to call it, either way. So, to bring you up to speed, essentially, we were at a rock concert. A guy was shot to death right in front of us. He was made of romaine lettuce. And basically, of the people we think did it, one of them is our client. He's a child. He can't actually speak, I think. And, or wait, no, he can't speak English. So we have to somehow provide a defense for him without knowing at all what he's saying. But hey, you know, it's interesting in a certain way, as opposed to, actually, no, I'm not gonna make that joke. I think that would get me banned on YouTube for just saying the phrase. But, oh yeah. Anyway, we just cross-examined Emma, who's the detective on it, and she didn't really lie, so we're kind of at a loss. Anyway, yeah, I believe that's enough of that. Exclamation point. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched. I like the little illustration of all the things in the room. Looks like if you look at it with the left wall being the floor and then the right wall being the ceiling, it looks like the guy just, like, fell out of the roof along with all the things in his closet and a gun. And a bunch of Tetris pieces were very surprised about it. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. Ugh. I believe we've had enough to determine our verdict. No, the fuck you have not! What kind of court is this? Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit, which I am, because I'm old, I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Hey, Lawman, welcome to the stream. Some notifications for 5 minutes late. Hey, better than an hour, so it's somehow improving. How are you doing? Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. Since when? That will have to be enough. Well, yeah, it's decisive, but what is it? Ugh, it can't be over already. Yeah, we've been here for like 5 minutes. Very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence... Question mark. The prosecution has presented our proof clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it'd be better be clear and plain. Heck, Apollo, it got us on the ropes already. We'd better come up with something quick. I know. Think, what can get us out of this? This is a chaotic court without much law order despite being a courtroom in trial. Yeah, exactly. How you doing? Fine, good to hear. Look at new PGR frames. Oh, you missed the DMC event? I'm sure it'll come back around eventually. I've heard collab events tend to kinda not do that, but maybe, you know, it's like if it's popular enough, obviously it's DMC, I'm sure people will kind of demand it back. But yeah, I've heard PGR is pretty good. I just don't play that many gacha games, which is, I realize, ironic to hear me say that considering I made a whole video for FGO, which is a gacha game. But I don't know, generally I don't really stick with them after a while, you know? Anyway. We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond a doubt. PR only has 2 reruns in terms of events. Oh, damn, really? Huh. Sorry to hear that. Well, hey, maybe they'll be put back in the gacha, perhaps? I actually don't really know how a lot of other gacha games work. FGO will do quite a bit. They will rerun certain characters. I think there's certain characters in it who, in the last 5 years since their release, or 4 years, I think even, they've been rerun for banners like 8 or 9 times. It's a very popular... I'm not going to go into it. Point is, yeah, that's my main experience with gacha games, so anything outside of that is a little rocky as to whether or not it would be, you know, functional as logic. Maybe I should play Nikkei on stream and see how fast the stream gets taken down. If it would even get taken down at all. We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that... Gulp. I can't really do a good gulp sound on... Oh, let me see if I can do this. Gulp. Nah, I'll work on it. Mr. Justice? Do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. The gacha game burnout is so real, like you'll get addicted for a week, then you'll drop the game entirely for like 6 months. The only game I haven't done this with would be Skullgirls. Oh, I've heard good things about Skullgirls, so there's that. That and also Limbus Company. Limbus Company's brought up quite a bit, particularly because apparently it's very F2P friendly and it's possible to get every character without spending a dime. So hey, you know, I'll give Limbus Company a shot eventually. I've heard good things about it. But, let me think. Yeah, it's like, something for me with some gacha games that I've tried, it's like, I'll see the battle system and I'm like, oh, this seems like it has a lot of different, like, ways it can go. And, you know, sometimes it does, but then it's like, oh, I need more of the premium characters to actually make the combat feel better or, like, even succeed at all. Part of the reason I like FGO is because you really don't need a lot of, like, 5 stars to actually, like, make it. A lot of the 4 stars even are pretty good, and you can get most of them for free. Or, well, a lot of good ones are for free, I'll say that. Yeah, that's what I like about FGO. Not that I play it because it's a gacha game, I play it because it's a Fate game, but that, okay. Looking past that for the moment. Anyway. Yeah, I do think gacha games, I feel like I would bounce off of most of them more often than not, if I were to try them. Just from the ones I have tried. Other than characters PGR usually don't get added to R&D banners. A lot of the normal characters events do stay or get 2-week-long reruns. Okay, so that's pretty good. I see what you mean. If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it. And so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. Court wants contradicting proof? Huh. Do I have... I mean, I don't think I do, but... This belongs to Lemurar, but it was also in her dressing room, so of course it does. He did have this, which doesn't necessarily mean it's contradicting, but it does mean it's weird. Let's see, what would... Could this count? Well, it's smeared, so I can't read it. Can this do anything? Sightseeing, music? Can't even read what's on the bottom of that. Oh, wait, I had this. That's not really worth anything, though. Yeah, I don't think evidence-wise I got anything. Call a witness. Wait, do I even have a witness that can work? Hold on. Well, it's not going to be Phoenix. He's dead. So... Well, I do have a save right after this, so... I would say for a witness, if I had to bring one... Alright, hold on, let me think. Can I examine this in a way that would provide some evidence to... Okay, I already examined that part. I don't have the thing to enable to, like, check fingerprints, so... What about this? Is there anything on this that would imply... We already saw the pin. Realize thematically this trial is wacky. Lettuce, mirrors, who else? We got lettuce, we got mirrors, we got, Machi Tobaye. Who's got a wing on his head. This guy is part shark. Oh yeah, what was his name? Darian Crescend? Because crescendo is like a thing you can do in music, like crescendo. That makes sense, but... Man, these people are nuts. Alright. In that case... Oof, I should not have done this after like a week, or 2 weeks. Call a witness! Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Technically, I was a witness, kind of. Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit, Atroquinine, My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Why would a blind person be named Mirror? I don't think she's blind. Wait, hold on. Which one of them is... I think Machi's the one who's blind. Okay, yeah, Machi's the one who's blind. He was arrested. And she's the one who's the mirror. So he's blind and can't look into the mirror. And she can't... she can speak English, but she was told not to. And he can't speak English at all. All their parents should be in jail for naming their children that. It is really weird. Yeah. Emma Sky, La Mirror, Lettuce, Roman Lettuce. Fucking lettuce, man. Alright. Clavier Gavin. Oh ho, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge that the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. Do I? What's going on? I just talked to him and now... Oh, we're calling the victim to the stand. But he's dead. We're sneaking in plugs to his albums. That's insane promo use. Insane, but you know what? I gotta respect the hustle. He's dropping his SoundCloud link in the middle of the courtroom. You gotta respect the grind. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is what her forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. Was getting his bag while getting his bag as a lawyer. Yeah, you know, he must be swimming in it. He's gotta have tons of money. But it's the truth! He said it! I even told you about it. But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution, I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for? There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. The mirror? Recall Mr. de Latouche's last words. He's got all this cash, yet a few $100,000 guitar is too much. I think it's too much to burn every show. I mean, to be fair, almost 50% health? Yeesh, yeah, it's rough. So, there will be times in other trials in the other parts of the series where sometimes it'll take the entire health bar regardless of whether you get it right or wrong. Actually, no, not regardless, but like, if you get it wrong, no matter how much health you've got, it takes the whole thing. The siren? Aha! He meant the siren! Yeah. The thing he said. What did it say? Wait, what do you think he meant? Inhale some water. Alright, I'm good. That's right. The siren of the ballad. La Mirror. Yeah, no shit. Like, what does he mean? Oh, the siren. Like, how many other things could... What else is named that? Alright, whatever. La Mirror was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Not like there were any actual sirens like ambulances. Yeah, he would have been dead long before any sirens actually happened. My claim still stands. Exactly, yeah, they came after he died. Even the police probably came after he died. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? She's just backstage. She's just, like, back of the courtroom. She's like, who are you calling a horse? You will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lemire to the witness stand. Lemire would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the Siren of the Ballad to our courtroom. Imagine hearing someone's final words yet no one believes you. Yeah, he said all the gold was buried in the Bermuda Triangle. No, he fucking didn't. Shut up. That's where the gold is. I do think that would be very funny for my last words to be something like, I buried all the gold in the... And then just leave them hanging. No one will ever know. You are too kind. You can speak English? Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There is much I do not know. You speak so well. Have you spent time here before? Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. Yeah, that's... What does she mean she doesn't know? I too sought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lemire suffers from amnesia. Well. That would have been nice to know before I call her to the stand. Amnesia? I barely know her. Lemire is not my true name. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. My last words would definitely be something worth having someone die with me. If I'm going to hell, someone's gonna have to follow me by their own damn hands. I ain't going alone. That's pretty good. Okay. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As lauded singer Lemire, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. That kind of rhymed there, didn't it? I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. Bitch, it is literally your whole job. Well, not all of it, but still, like, I care little about people's past. What are you talking about? Your whole point is to find people's pasts and then huh? Or at least it's a little bit of it, to care about their past so you make a decision about their present. Like, whatever. Just, let's keep going. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lemire, unless you murdered him, at which point you do. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lemire, let me be frank. They call me the Trash Man. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant at your stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime. No one has told me what the crime is yet. It is your job to figure out histories. You're the one to keep track of evidence statements, backgrounds, and past criminal records, etc. Jesus Christ, exactly. What? I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. It is your job. You're supposed to. What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That is where I learned that something had happened. but I wasn't told the details. I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying. I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat. And refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go. Ah. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. If this trial was to happen IRL, everyone would flip their shit. Again, this attorney's wacky and unrealistic, but shit, nobody would be employed aside from Apollo. Honestly, it is funny that Apollo is the one guy here who's at least, like, vaguely trying to have an actual law career. Lemira wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Cross-examination. I guess I can press her on this. Sure, why not? But you must have seen something. Mr. Latouche named you. Mr. Latouche? How can I tell you what I don't know? Lemira, he said you were a witness with his dying words. Also, wait, didn't she say she didn't know what happened and we just told her that Latouche died? Even then, almost half the damn cast and supporting characters are underage or too young to be a lawyer. That's... yeah. Wait, Apollo's... 22? Hold on. I think Apollo's 7 years older than... Trucy. Maybe. I don't know. You know stuff's fucked up if a guy with the Kamen Rider Power Ranger ass haircut? Yeah, look at this guy. He could hide like a knife in there or something. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night... Okay, true, yeah, but let's see if we can get some more details on it. It was a great concert. You heard me sing? Thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. Of course.
Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One of my gavel would be nice.
Herr Judge.
What's this?
It's my autograph. Now keeps this trial moving.
What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy.
Apparently his grandson is a big fan. I want to see a picture of his grandson that just looks like him, but like, still bald, still no beard, but he's like, he looks the same otherwise, or like still a beard, otherwise looks the same. Or like, he's bald and has a beard just like the grandfather. I think that'd be hilarious. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. Why would a 15-year-old be on the defense side as if they were a professional? In fairness, Phoenix did have a 16-year-old, no, she was 17. A 17-year-old, or 17, 18, 19, doesn't matter. 17-year-old, psychic on his side, who also summoned the spirit of his dead boss, who was his friend, and her older sister. This guy has kids? Yeah, man, look. Lots of people... Look, I'm sure he's a good father, or grandfather, or whatever it is, but... I don't know. You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And was Machi with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi for Machi. With Machi, correct? How was he then? He seemed as he always does. Though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latouche's death. So she knows that he died, okay. Yet he is not the type to show much emotion. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glinting frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far. We sat there waiting. We're 100% is not getting anything for Father's Day. It's probably the Virgil 2.0's child support. You probably forgot his child's history. Alright. How was the incident explained to you? I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latouche died. Okay, so she was told that. Of course, investigations require some security. But Mr. Latouche was my manager! I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Machi and I were beside ourselves with concern. Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. I too felt the pain of your manager dying. Yes, I understand. Pink, what doesn't ring true about her testimony? It's hard to imagine Lemira lying. She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? Saw nothing. About to sing on stage, she did. Then returned backstage. Do I have proof that shows she did? I just realized him not remembering histories has been very consistent. This guy only repeats things that happened 5 minutes ago, but he doesn't remember much of anything after a break or anything. You know, that's true. He does seem to forget a lot. An ignorant judge is the worst. Yeah, how does he still have his job? Let's ask that. Told to wait there. Wasn't told the details. This was found at the crime scene, but... Alright, so how do any of these people have law degrees? Excellent question. How is any of this allowed? Let's see for a minute, though. What would prove that she was there? Well, for one thing, the victim was shot in her room, but that's not enough. Amira's dressing room. Let's see. Not this, obviously. This, no. 9 to 9:30 p.m. Wait. What time was the performance? Okay, this wasn't... I don't think the time is going to come into play, because this isn't... We don't know what time the other stuff was. Law school must be hella popular, cheap, and accessible in this world like a high school elective. I'm sure there's just, like... What if it's one of those, like, online surveys you take, and then you just get, like, a certification for it? Probably all kite-hoed their way to a law degree. That would be really funny to, like, have a Danganronpa character who's, like, the ultimate lawyer, but they cheated on the bar exam or something. Somehow. And it just turns out like they're, like, the ultimate cheater instead. Nothing much else here. I mean, sure, there's this that shows that she was in her dressing room, but... I think the brooch might be it, just based on the fact that it is something that links her to the scene of the crime. But the question is, to which of these does it go? Because I don't think it's this one. She was cleaning up after the performance. Do I have anything that shows that's not true? Where's the damn government in this? Like, these cases must be in public news because of the supernatural events. That's the thing. This is now several cases where there have been, like, ghosts involved. And people, like, it's still not a very, like, there are other people who know that, like, oh yeah, ghosts and spirits are a thing. Because, you know, they have people go to Karain Village, which is where all the spiritual people are, to do that. But there's not a ton of, like, you know, like, people don't, I don't think it's extremely common stuff. Even though, that, again, it has now been several cases that have been at least partially solved by ghosts. I can't present any people on this. Can I do anything with this that I haven't already done? There are 3 keys on this heart-shaped keyring. This guitar-shaped key was the key to a guitar case. Wasn't he saying he had to break his case because he couldn't get it unlocked? I could open a lock like that in 10 seconds, easy. You should have given me a call. So we could slap handcuffs on you after you opened it? I don't think that's necessarily a handcuff thing if he asked her to do it. Handcuffs? 20 seconds, tops. Okay, that's a different problem, Trucy. I'm glad she's on my side. That's probably a bite key, and that's probably a something else key. Anything that would indicate anything else on it. It says Gorl. Okay, so nothing really there. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's gonna help somehow. I don't know how this is gonna help, but we'll see. Considering you have guys in chains, supernatural animal guides, people using telekinesis fueled by anger, superhuman speed, cyborgs otherwise, surprised this isn't more discussed. Yeah! A lot of crazy shit. Also, there was that parrot that we cross-examined once. We had to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot. That is easily one of the best moments in all of Ace Attorney. Alright, let's see. No. I am thinking it's this. This is the only thing I can think of that would contradict potentially something. So... Objection! There we go, okay. I'm sorry, Lemire, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lemire's. She was wearing it for her song. Here to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lemire, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And, as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. Ah!
What is the meaning of this? Lemire, please explain.
Lemire? She says English is quite difficult.
The trick's not going to work here.
Talk like an Egyptian.
Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact.
Wait, Gavin, you speak the language? Then what's the point of this? Or people who had their wings shed from fear as if they're real, super intuition rings, or people just descend to almost godhood mid-crash out. This is like a sci-fi fantasy game set in the modern era. And you know what? I think all of those things kind of blend together to make Ace Attorney the unique flavor of crazy that it is. I like it a lot. I like how weird stuff is allowed to get. What now? Deer, bug, fish, shaky person, force push, other bug, leaf, bug, person bowing down, arrow, bug. I'm just gonna go. In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. So your testimony was incorrect. That's what I'm hearing from this, is that your testimony was wrong. What? Looks like she's speaking Wendings from Fanagaster. No, I believe it. Yeah, like... I don't know how else to translate that. I wonder if that's the same text as it is in Japanese. Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred... Ah! Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. So she lied... She either lied or forgot. Either way, it's technically like perjury, I think, technically, but... Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. The witness is... Siren... Siren? How could a siren witness anything? Yipes, Emma! What was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. Translators in this case would be someone reliable because the guy actively steering people in the wrong direction. Exactly, that's... I am a little worried about that. That's a really good point. Like, why... We need an impartial translator to say who it is. I could have sworn I heard a door close. I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you. So this was when your brooch dropped. But, wait, how could she just look into the room normally when... Hold on, look at this. I mean, I guess she could have seen the body, but... Actually, wait, no, I don't think she could have. Based on, like, the angle of the door opening. Or... I guess if she, like, leaned in... That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous! You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Air forehead? She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Air forehead shouting, "Who's there?" No doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ow, bitch. I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemire, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well. Though it was only the briefest of glimpses. Just a moment, correct. Oh, and she's lying about something. I think she looks away when she lies, and that's why she's like looking in a different direction on this thing. Where are her hands? Hold on. Never mind, she doesn't have hands. Maybe she'll blink or something. You again. Alright, here again. So, behind a wall... Actually, wait, how would she know it was behind a wall if she saw... sure. You may have seen the world, but I've seen your heart. You were flustered during your testimony just now. I fucked up. I was supposed to do it behind a wall, wasn't I? Seemed very flustered to me, Apollo. Maybe I got that one wrong. Harder. I'll find that weak spot. Unless it's a different part of the testimony. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't even go with the... A wall? Was there a wall there?
Is what in English? A division or partition, I believe. It was a large dressing room divided into two halves. And the murder took place in the inside half. I guess that partition might have hidden the body.
Yeah, how's the judge not ruled them switching languages and having the defender switch them back to English? Good question. Yeah, that does seem a bit rocky. Again, we need like an impartial translator here. Someone who doesn't really care whether or not she gets convicted. Anything else I can perceive here? Because I don't really seem to lose health for perceiving wrong. Okay, yeah, I got that wrong again. But I don't seem to lose health, so again, it's fine. Wait till it gets to the third phrase. Okay, no, it's just not this phrase. Alright. If I can use the ring on anything here, which I don't think I can. Behind a wall, which isn't wrong, which means she did see nothing. But then, how did he see her? Also, we found the brooch, like, right in the far side of the left part of the room, so how did that get from the door there to... Yes, it is behind a wall. That's not the question here. How would she have... Okay, yeah, she saw nothing. Nobody's actually sworn their oath to tell the truth. Yeah! No, actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if that's a thing in Japan. Like, I know that's a thing in America where it's like they have to swear in the Bible or whatever. Or like the Book of Law. It doesn't really matter. As long as you swear in on something. I think. I don't know if that's a thing in Japan, though. So maybe that might be like a Japan law thing. Okay, so she seems to blink regardless. There's something wrong with this. I want to say that it's this picture. Just from the concept of... How could she get to... I mean, she definitely wouldn't have been able to see his body, but... I don't know, something about this feels wrong to me. I want to say it's... Okay, I'll give this a shot. Objection! Fuck. The oath to tell the truth is apparently a thing in Japanese courts law. Okay, yeah, that's... Alright then. Then yeah, I have no idea. His body was behind a wall. I don't think that's necessarily wrong, and it isn't. But, let's see. Does this reveal anything? I don't know. Maybe I should try perceiving her in some of the other things. Gotta be on her eyes or mouth. It's the only thing that really I can, like, see, because I can't even go down to where her hands are in this thing. Alright, past this one. I mean, she is smiling here for some reason. You could have shot Latus hidden behind cover of the wall and then collapsed. Remember, there was also a very small window in the far corner of the room behind him, which theoretically, I think she could have shot him through that, and then thrown the gun in, and then she wouldn't even have to leave the room, she would have already left it. People do have trouble keeping a straight face when lying unless their tells are different. But she's also smiling here, so unless... I guess I can just perceive all of these. One of these is probably her lying. Is she sweating on her forehead or something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's this one. No real change in her expression. Her expression's pretty much the only thing I can see, so... But then, why would this symbol be here if I wasn't supposed to perceive something? Seems like a small enough person to climb through the window. Now, the whole point that they made earlier was that the window was not able to be fit by, like, a person. So it would be small enough to shoot and throw a gun through, but it would not be small enough to put an entire person through. I don't know, I don't think this is, She's not necessarily lying that she saw nothing. I was already wrong about the thing showing that, like, it was behind a wall, which it was. Let's press around this again. Maybe I missed something. Yeah, divided in two halves. Should have looped around and fake an alibi? Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I think she shot him through the little window, threw the gun in, then looped around so that way it's like, oh, well, she was clearly in the front and she couldn't have left otherwise. Exactly, we're not sure how long she was backstage for. She said she was only there for a little bit, and apparently was just long enough to see that and then dip. So, let's see. Hold the weight there. The late Mr. Latus's body was behind a wall. It was. But, let's see, is there... Theoretically, there was like a small line of sight where if you were at the edge of the door, you could probably like see a glimpse of his head. But she just peeked in, that also begs the question... Where did... Should I just present the brooch again? Because the brooch we found, it was like near the edge of the wall. It wouldn't have been something that you could just like, you know, walk in and kind of throw around there. So maybe this again? Nope. Fuck. This memory is just conveniently for her. We're not entirely sure if she's remembering things correctly. Okay. Lost 2 health bars. That's not doing too well. Any longer if she's hiding something. Wouldn't she tell me? Oh, the arm got scared and left. True, but we can't quite see necessarily that she was doing that. The body was behind a wall. But he also wasn't dead right at that instant, I don't think. Or maybe he was just dead? Fuck, I'm so close to figuring it out, but... All the way like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all the way. Guitar, up together to the sky. Crystals with orbs and beads do slip off really easily in all case. If she flicked her arm while turning the run, it's possible to slip off. Is actually good point. Yeah, maybe that is the case. Maybe she's not the killer at all. Sightseeing musique. That's painting. Okay, but between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Between shooting and death currently under review. Yeah, this doesn't really tell me anything. Well, shit. What? I actually am stumped a little. I don't really know what I could do for the answer here. Let's see. We already tried this and the other thing. It didn't really work. She saw nothing. Well, let's try pressing her on some of the other ones again. Is that voice of yours lack a volume knob? It's my cords of steel, man. Just back off. Because that is different than what was there before. Maybe if I press her on some of these others, it'll also give me something weird. Or something new. This is the one with the autograph. Yep, okay. Little bugs makes me suspicious to see some crazy yandere. Yeah. Could be. Certainly. What if the bullet landed in his heart because the song seems tied to the case? I think he was technically shot in the shoulder, but I understand why you would think that. Yeah. He says she saw nothing. But he was able to see her. So how did he know that? So wait, yeah, actually that's a decent point. Now, she saw nothing, but he saw her. So how did he know that? Is this what I need to present for that, or... Because I thought this would have been enough. He clearly knows she was there. But I also don't have anything that's evidence-wise that says he saw her last, because it was never put in the evidence record. Or we tried the brooch, we tried the other thing. To ensure the efficiency and secrecy of our investigation, the bearer is hereby ordered to speak to no one outside of the investigation concerning any details of the case. Which is true, I guess. The heart is slightly off to the left in the human body, just below the shoulder blades. I got curious if it landed close. It certainly could be. Just remember, the guitar was also set on fire, so... Could be that she was trying to recreate the events of the song for some reason. Led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. Something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. Outside the investigation concerning any details of the case. That's concurrent with what we learned. Let's press around this, see if there's anything that changed. Not lying, but hiding something. Just for a moment, yeah. Actually, wait, maybe that's not... Maybe the other thing wasn't the thing I need to press. Maybe it's this one. Just for a moment, but why? For just a moment. And she's innocent, you're very fucking suspicious. I do agree. It would be weird to have her be the killer immediately, because she is, in my opinion, the most suspicious one. But... just a moment. What could it be? She saw nothing, but again, that's the thing, he saw her, so... Or at least brought her up, which is differently suspicious. Do I have proof that she stayed longer? We've yet to question the shark, I'm starting to think it's him. It could be him, that's true. He does seem pretty specific and suspicious. What if he was trying to write Lemure in the language or something? And she smeared it to prove that it wasn't her. I feel dumb for not being able to figure this out. I'm sure we've only got a very small amount of evidence here. It should be one of these things. Well, let me investigate this again. Maybe I'll figure something out. Pin fastener, not a safety pin type though. Safety pin, is it a danger pin? I suppose if you're stuck in your eye, then yeah, sure. You have a safety pin too for that matter. Let's take the fun out of my danger pin. Thanks, that did not help. Let's see, is there anything about this that can... Looks things, a bullet would have landed too far above the heart. Theory's wrong. I think that might have been what they were trying to do, though. At least making it sound like the song. Take my life away, all away. Maybe that was supposed to be her signature, or Gavin's? I don't know. I'm clearly missing something here. Someone smeared the blood. She wouldn't have been able to see it from there, so it couldn't have been her, I don't think. What did this tell me again? Time lapse between shooting and death currently under review. So, what if this isn't the murder weapon and we just think it is? Okay, There's something obvious that I'm missing. Something very obvious. Look at the evidence again. Alright, so for starters, we have... This is just my lawyer badge. Not really important. Here's the lyrics. So far, not incredibly important. But we'll get there. This was brought up earlier. But yeah. It was definitely the murder weapon from the looks of it. It probably is, but yeah, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there. This is just a thing that says that we can not speak about it, which we have followed. This is a publicity postcard, which I'm sure will come up somehow, but has not yet. Where she's painting, but there's nothing on the canvas. Here is the revolver, which is the murder weapon. As for whether or not it has the bullets missing, who knows? We already checked the thing. All this should imply that it has been checked out. This is the brooch we just used. This is the thing that Gavin gave us to check the music tracks to see who was, like, dragging. This is Gavin's key ring, which he was missing, which was for some reason in Mr. Lotus's hands. And this is the autopsy report, which implies that the time of death between his shooting and when he died is under review, but we don't know. This is a picture of him. And this is the diagram of the crime scene. Hold on a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and just save right now so we don't have to, like, redo all of that. His body was behind a wall. That is correct, but how did you know that? I guess you didn't know that before, but you know it now. We already tried this, and that did not work. Even though technically... What do I not like about this? What's wrong here? Window might be red herring. That is true. It also hasn't been brought up in the case yet, so it might be a red herring as well. Maybe the killer was in the room. That's what the general theory is right now, but because it is the initial theory, I think that might be wrong. Because that feels like one of those things where, like, oh, we thought the killer was in the room. Nope, psych, turns out they weren't. That's the reason I think it's, like, the kid that's my client, because they think he could have, like, jumped in through the vent, killed the guy, then left without having to go through the door. Which is possible. But yeah, let's see. What contradicts all of this? We don't know how she got backstage unnoticed, yeah. Maybe her collarbone changes size when she lies, I don't know. I can't go down to her hands, so... Here again. Her eyes are not changing at all. That's kind of the only part of her that theoretically would change. Alright, pass on this. What am I missing? I already pressed her and everything again, so it can't just be one of those where it has to, like, press and then be done. His body was behind a wall, but it's not like she couldn't have seen anything, it's that she didn't see anything. But what am I missing about this? Okay, for another thing, why did the victim have this? Let's go for that. We can't bring it up right now, but why did the victim have this? Something she's wrong about. You only went backstage for a moment. And also his body is behind the wall, which most of it is. But, again, I question... Lemuraro Zero Physical tells us she's lying. I mean, I got that, at the very least, yeah. I could just perceive her on everything until she turns out she's lying about something. Ring is effectively useless on her. Oh, yeah, I believe it. So far it has been. I'm sure there's some Ace Attorney fan watching this who's just yelling at me for how obvious this is. Oh. Behind a wall. Now this shows that it's not completely behind a wall. But... I already tried this. This didn't work. I tried the gem. The brooch. It didn't work. I could just present everything and everything until I get something right. But... I don't know. Can't just give in, obviously. Currently it's cross-examination, right? I'm not gonna look it up just yet. I think I've only ever looked up like 2 things in the series for this, but like I don't know. Body was behind a wall. Time elapsed, but wait. Again, doesn't this show that it kind of wasn't? Because the gun would have had to be fired from behind, out from behind the wall. The body is pretty clearly visible from not behind it. I mean, I don't think... Nope, alright. You know, I'm just gonna, without looking it up, I'm just gonna present everything I can until something happens. Wrong button.
Gotcha!
What's actually gonna be useful here aside the map? I don't know, I tried the map and it didn't work. I can try it again if I accidentally clicked on the wrong part. Yep. Point out the blood signature. I guess, but... yeah, I mean, I'll give that a shot. It's worth anything at this point. Alright, yeah, that didn't quite work, so I'm just gonna load the save. Wait, no. Yeah, this one, I think. Okay, so we've tried this, okay, that didn't work. And what does Apollo truly need? Apollo needs, I don't know, a wife? Husband, whatever he wants. I'm just coming reference. Oh, okay. I will try to get to that at some point. Alright, not that. Okay, not this. And that didn't work either. Alright. Try this again. Also, I was on the wrong one. That's great. So no to this. Eventually something will work. I'm just gonna shotgun it. I have no other option at this point. All the stuff that I thought would work and be logical choices did not work, and were not logical choices. Already tried that. I can't imagine this would work. Nope, not the keys either. Gotta tell you something about Forsaken. There's also sports that other Sentinel survivalists from entering. Oh, okay. Okay. Already tried the keys. Nope. So yeah, I think the most obvious thing here is that it's just not that choice. I only went backstage for a moment, but what contradicts that? My mixing board? No, it wasn't this either. I mean, I'll try it on the other one, but... Well, so therefore we need logical solutions. You're right. Maybe the mixing board is it. Even though it has nothing to do with the rest of this. Nope. Alright. Okay, what am I missing here? Maybe I do just have to do the ring. Yeah, it's useless for, like, physical stuff, but maybe if she is lying about something, it will help out. I already tried it on all 3 parts of this. Everything, all the evidence I tried on this particular point was not useful. Backstage just a moment, closed the door when she heard that. But again... How did that get in the room, though? Okay, still not that, huh? Nope. One of these has to work. Like... Alright. Just thinking in my head, what could possibly be the answer here? Invited to sing on stage, and she did. That is true. What I saw, you saw nothing. Okay. I'm just gonna proceed. This loses me no health. Let's try this. She's not flustered at all, I realize, but we just... I am out of ideas. The murder has a different timing than the performance. I mean, that's it. That's the thing, yeah, but She did sing on stage, that's true. So... That night, yes. You were invited to sing. Yes. On stage, yes. And this you did. Let's try... Yeah, seeing the world, seeing the heart. It is also entirely possible that this is just a dead end and I can't actually get anything from this, and I wasn't supposed to select witness from the start. She genuinely didn't see anything. Yeah, I got that. But then, how do I progress? One of these things has to be wrong. Behind a wall. Alright, you know what? I hate to say it. I think I'm just gonna have to look it up. I would love to just get this, like... on my own, but clearly I have no clue. Maybe I even messed up to begin with. I just need to keep this moving. Let's see. Wow, this is a long-ass guide. Mm-hmm. Okay. This feels like I fucked up stupidly. Watch what's about to happen. I was looking at the wrong thing, apparently. Apparently, she gulps as she says this. So she does have a physical tell. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say? Yes. You know something more about Mr. Latouse's death than you're saying. What? I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. Okay, so basically the main thing that didn't work before is because I was focused on her eyes and not her throat. So, yeah, that's on me. Yeah, that was rough, but, you know, in fairness, I should have tried looking at her throat if I was so sure. Well, to be fair, there was also this one thing back in Ace Attorney 3 where it does this thing where it gave her, like, a new statement in the cross-examination, and functionally, the evidence I presented to win should have worked for that statement too, but it didn't. It worked for one statement before that, which begs the question, why did I even need to add that other one to the testimony? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't at all, but we'll see. But the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. It is true. It was so terrible after all. I mean, honestly though, why would this evidence not work for that? You can see the body from the doorway. Like, just a little bit of at least his head, and obviously he saw her, so whatever. Look, we're past it. It's done. I hate that I had to look it up, but here we are. One moment, Lemire. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something. I knew it! Lemire, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Huh? How could that be? Take this. Lemire contradicted her testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. Do I? I mean, yeah, she wouldn't have seen the bullet holes, she wouldn't have seen the gun, so she wouldn't have... Okay, it's gotta be this. How does anyone figure this out? I guess you really just had to, like, really closely pay attention to it. In theory, I should have seen it if I had looked closely enough, so that is a bit on me, but, like... If I do not misunderstand the meaning of contradiction, it is you who contradict, Mr. Justice. Huh? Your evidence is meaning... What? Huh? But she couldn't have seen the bullet holes. Hey again, Miss Latouche have to be shot? Yeah. Contradicts her testimony. Oh, that she didn't know anything about it. Okay. Tell me, Lemire, how did you know he had been shot? Well, Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? Orc! Lemire, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Please allow me to add to my testimony. Of course. All we want to know is the truth. She looks kinda pale, huh? She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. Bullet holes in the wall, knew Miss Latouche had been shot. Okay, the diagram has to be for this one, right? How could she have seen the bullet holes? There we go. Honestly, I feel like that should have worked for all of this, but yeah, whatever. Lies are hardly becoming such a creature. I missed what he said. Shit.
A put-down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't that be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lemire, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall, the door is on.
Eh?
You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
Yark!
That's funny. Yeah.
Lemire,
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you?
Yeah. That's how this works. What do you mean you must tell? I must tell you. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you think this is? It's a court of law.
I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Lemire. Well, technically she saw me standing over the body, but...
Yes, the happenings in this trial are being recorded.
You could have seen the holes when she walked by the room walls. Potentially, but I don't think they made holes in the outside because we were standing outside when it happened and there weren't any holes.
And I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouche died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lemire.
Very well. Lemire, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall.
Okay, another testimony. Let's go. What I saw too.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit.
There was something like a little window there. Okay, so this is where the window comes in.
That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
Okay, well, that would have been very helpful at literally any point prior to now.
So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say?
Ah, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Airforehead. Okay. Question. Why would you not say that in the first place before we even got here? When games force you to only look up stuff, only you not noticing. Are we supposed to notice her throat moving? It was very slight, but I think that's the whole point of the perception mode, is that you can look very closely, so I should have just tried looking around a bit more and seeing if there was any kind of tell. That is at least partially on me. If not majorly on me.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lemire. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Stage to the backstage exit. Okay. Why? So you were heading toward the dressing room.
Yes.
So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time Emma and I heard those shots.
I was on my way back.
What exactly is something like a little window? Apollo, you saw the window. It was a little window.
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English.
No, you're right, Lemire. It was in fact a window. Apollo, what are you talking about? You saw it.
I think this is how it said, yes? You need not worry, Lemire. Your choice of words is impeccable. Exactly. There is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall. I saw the crime from there. Apollo was brain damaged. I think we're all a little brain damaged at this point. Mostly me. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. I believe that. Well, I mean, what are you going to do against a guy with a gun? You are certain you heard 2 shots fired? Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer. And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradictions so far. It had all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. But it wasn't Machi. I agree, but... It wasn't Machi who shot. Are you sure? Yes, quite certain. Ha 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 ha! It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object? Yeah, Apollo, what were you thinking? Lucy, let's just listen to what Lemire has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure? Yes, of course. You see... A grown person? That's a little vague. I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
Well, you see, the one that's assigned at birth isn't necessarily... It was a man. A young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice?
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you had a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget the voice?
Hey, Star, welcome to the stream. How you doing? If Latouche saw who shot them, why didn't they say who it was? Good question. I'm sure it was the shark guy now. That would make sense if she's not trying to pin it on Apollo somehow.
If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
Could have actually been studying Lost and Obvious in the next Phoenix, right? Yeah, go for it. You get to cross-examine a parrot. I'm gonna say it's contradictory. Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lemire's testimony that rings false.
Bravo, Airforehead. You're colder than I thought. Sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin.
As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lemire has to be lying.
I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Airforehead says. Yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What next? What's he talking about? Other than the fact that as it's looking at cases of people doing questionable things in public bathrooms and getting spawn camped by police. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of law probably is at least partially like, here's some weird bullshit that happened and here's why we had to make a law around it. Lemire, I understand why you would want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad.
And lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. Quite well.
And the websites we get told to use have scam-free Robux advertisements. Well, if it's scam-free, I think it's a very big perk of the law right there, that you get scam-free Robux. Why would they lie about that?
The state of the room?
The state of the room.
Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
Well, I mean, it's a window. And it's not, maybe it's not like plexiglass. They could probably just, you know, hear it.
What? But I'm sure... Lamirol, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is something lesser.
Just looking at a case of someone getting violently murdered, it's like, you want free 50,000 Robux? Maybe that's part of the test. Maybe that's what compelled them to kill. But she's the only eyewitness we have. And ear witness, for that matter.
So you say. And the victim named her as the Siren as a witness?
That's right. That's what Mr. Latouche...
We heard your claim, we even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge?
Yes?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request.
What is until Alice in Borderland live action season 3? Didn't you say though that the live action wasn't as good as the manga? Or is that something else?
There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lemire can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke.
Danke. This isn't based on the manga, so... Oh, okay, yeah.
No, very. Ah, yes, I would like to hear from the Fräulein Detective again.
Live action's good, even great, but the manga's still better. Oh, okay, alright. I'll give it a watch. Wait, let me hear Lemire's testimony one last time.
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
Season 1 and 2 live action are based on the manga, Season 3 isn't. Okay.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, your forehead?
I hope I didn't just miss my only chance.
Fräulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore.
Isn't that the whole point of an encore, though? That you get to hear the same song? Right? Am I crazy?
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouche's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling.
Well, I suppose the window being closed means that unless they closed it from the outside somehow, they couldn't have done the thing where they threw the gun in.
Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room.
It's been like 3 years since the announcement of Season 2. It's like All of Us Are Dead is getting Season 2 even though Season 1 ended at the webtoon ending. Oh, okay. Just announced the cast. Oh, 3 years though? That's... Dang, that's rough. Huh. Must be a production thing.
And a witness, you were standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, see? It kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances? Again?
All of us will be dead by season 2, probably because Netflix doesn't like doing 2 major K-dramas at once and Squid Game took priority. Oh, yeah, no, that's true. It makes sense that they want to put more attention on Squid Game.
Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre.
Yeah, what the hell led to that?
She's right. Why did Mr. Latus's body disappear from the room?
And what was the deal with that magician guy? There was a weird magician guy that showed up. And ended up on the top of that stage tower. Holding a guitar, no less.
A perceptive observation there, Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for things. You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. And the guy who plays Soo-hyuk to show enough time to shorten his name 5 more times. Ugh.
Why was the body moved?
And how does that lead us to the killer? Also, how was the body moved? With no one noticing. He's a pretty big dude. Okay, here we are.
I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lemira's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant.
But Machi's also blind, so how did he do it?
Lemira's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not? Its code? All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held on to so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
Up together to the sky. Loman doesn't even mean anything. Who knew lettuce could have been so damn beefy? Yeah, he's got a lot of protein for a normal piece of lettuce.
It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit I'd forgotten about the song, but there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know, I was the one who first noticed that.
She was, actually. Brucey does deserve credit for that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting songs.
Please don't remind me of jumping rope. I can't go back.
But killing?
It's a wild world out there, Judge.
Peacemaker Season 2 Episode 5 was really good. Yeah, I've heard good things about Peacemaker. I do need to actually get to watching that show. I've heard John Cena's a much better actor than you would even, like, think. Which is funny, because normally he's like, oh yeah, he's just kind of a funny wrestling guy. Apparently in Peacemaker he's really good.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. The cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing.
Okay, this one will probably go at least a little better than the last one. There's some lyrics, yeah.
Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics? I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence. It is as Fräulein Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse. If you would, Fräulein Detective. What? You want me to sing it? You are the witness, yeah? What did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial. Fine, fine. Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we? When you stole away the keys my heart held on to so tight. Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen that morning. Next we go to the right page of the lyrics sheet, where we find, burning on in my heart, fire, burn my love away, all away.
That's when his guitar caught fire, yeah.
As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar caught to flames. Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all away.
John Cena is really good, and it's surprising when you first watch it. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it just to see his performance.
Mr. Latusse's life was taken by a bullet. Bravo, Fräulein Detective, you're singing. It's not bad. Now for the finale. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latousse was found with the guitar high in the sky over the stage.
Okay, but then why was Machi passed out with him? The other actor's really good too. I'll have to check it out, yeah.
No series of coincidences could be so well conceived. So well conceived. He's right, scientifically speaking.
Yeah, I like James Gunn's stuff, so that would be very fun to watch. I like the Suicide Squad movie. The one that he did, by the way, I should clarify. You know the one where, with Bloodsport and the rest of them, not the other one. But yeah, I'll check it out.
What would Walkie have said? That concert was whack.
What's so important about the damn guitar? Good question. Maybe there's like the secret to immortality in it? I don't know.
It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter... He moved the body to match Lemira's song. But how?
Does the prosecution have any idea why he'd do all this?
You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason.
A deep reason?
Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none.
Or like Polka Dot Man. Oh yeah, Polka Dot Man was really funny. Just especially the thing where, like they let him out of his cell while it's like, Polka Dot Man. They're like, what, does he shoot polka dots? Waller just remains silent. They're like, is that his power? Does he shoot polka dots? And it turned out to be really overpowered. And then there's like the Rat Lady. Rat Lady was fun. I mean, really, they did a good job with the cast for that movie. I also liked Nathan Fillion as the detachable kid. I don't know, it's fun. They had a good time with that movie. Oh, and that part where they were like going through the camp and like killing all the people, that was hilarious.
The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone were doing this on just a whim.
Fräulein Detective, I take offense at that description. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say?
Yes, this crime was planned for sure.
No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. I agree, but let's just check it.
But Mr. Latousse spoke English. He may have come to this country before. I looked into that, I assure you. Oh. It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own.
Great.
You see? No one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
It does seem difficult to imagine.
Yeah, DC has a lot of good characters, and DC Comics has... yeah, barely heard anything Marvel Comics recently. Yeah, Marvel's been in a bit of a dead zone. Aside from the main faces of DC, movies and other media using lesser-known characters are always welcome. Yeah. It is nice when, they can just, like, pull a character out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, you don't know about Burrito Guy? His powers include making burritos, and that's it. Absolute Batman comics are pretty cool. They have a lot of really good designs in there. The art for it is spectacular.
It does seem difficult to imagine.
I really like Killer Croc and Joker. Or not, Joker's good, but like also Mr. Freeze. in the Absolute Batman comics. I like the axe, too. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. Your Absolute Joker fucking eats Robin or some shit. That would be pretty crazy. I'm not that far into the Absolute Batman comics, but they are pretty cool so far. What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song?
No, he didn't. Of course not, and I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. Absolute Joker went from wearing a suit made of dead babies, then Joker turned into a fucking cryptid. I am interested to see what that actually turns out to be. That sounds cool. They've been in my textbook at school. And I'd never heard of them. What does that say about me? I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. Oh wait, forgot to do that one. What does that mean? What do you mean by his signature? Superman 2025 just kind of brought Mr. Terrific out of nowhere. It's like, you know Mr. Terrific? I remember that he was in Arrow all those years ago. For those of you, have any of you in the audience seen Arrow or any of the other like CW shows? Because I think they were pretty good for a while. Then they kind of petered off a bit, but overall I thought they were, like, season 1 and 2 in Flash I thought were pretty good. Seasons, like, 2 and 5 of Arrow I liked a lot. I think some of them were pretty good. I liked, Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. Just putting that one out there. Yeah, I remember Mr. Terrific from that, at the very least. I really like Booster Gold, and I really hope the show they make for him in the DCU will be good. Yeah, I've seen some pretty funny fan castings of him. We need more Condiment King appreciation. Yeah, him, we need, like, Calendar Man, we need, just some goofier characters, you know? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. The bullet holes? That's his signature? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. No, you can't be serious. Machi, he can't see. Lego Batman movie unironically does really well with obscure villains. I remember that. Yeah, I need to rewatch that at some point. The only DC movie I watched is legit Red Hood Under the Batman. That is actually a pretty good one. I like that one. I like the Under the Red Hood. That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Fucking Daredevil over here. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think Justice, what do I do now? I say we raise an objection. Calendar Man, Calculator, Condiment King, Eraser. What about the Penny Pincher? That's a really obscure one. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. Oh yeah, Snowflame, the guy who runs, the guy who's like fueled by cocaine, or whatever he's called. He got a little bit of stuff in that like one Catwoman comic that I heard about. But yeah, the concept of him as a character was great. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. We need Alfred to go on more crusades aside from being a butler supporting character. By the time he beat the shit out of Superman. Yeah, it'd be cool to have like a Alfred. What if there's like a universe where Alfred is Batman? There probably is already something like that, but like, I think that's a cool idea. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh? How so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver? I barely know her.
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate the shoulder.
Exactly.
The defendant, Machi Tobaye, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim, but yeah, we're saying he didn't do it though. So happy they confirmed Condiment King will be in LEGO Batman 4. Oh, nice! Don't say much about Copperhead. They seem cool in the arcade games. Oh yeah, Copperhead. Yeah. Apollo. A convincing argument to be sure. Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo, you fucked up. Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Machi being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim? Are you kind of, admitting that he did it? It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. LEGO games are always peaks unless they're purely publicity stunt. I do like a lot of them, yeah. A lot of LEGO games are generally pretty solid. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Ripes, I really put my foot in it this time. Well, let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you vote for Line Detective?
Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony.
Right? From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind. We looked into the feature that was in LEGO Batman 3, where if you went on a character to the select menu, they'd sing the Batman theme. Oh, really? Apollo suffers brain damage from Lemire. Yeah, he really... It's rare to see someone, like, sign their own death warrant like that. He played himself. You can't say because he was blind just because those 2 bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof, per se. You've merely raised a possibility. Line Detective has made a most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there is more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? He could feel the air, I guess. Ah, very good point. Well, Line Detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene, if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. Look, the writers gave up on Apollo for a little bit. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Third cases in Ace Attorney games are generally the weakest ones for them. They're not, like, bad. They're just not, like... You know... They're not the best cases of the series. Let me just put it like that. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobaye. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder. But that's... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider that what the stepladder was doing there. They haven't said if Batman Beyond won't be in LEGO Batman 4 game. Oh, yeah, no, there's that. I'd like to see Terry again. I like Terry. Also, the Batman Beyond suit is just really good. It's very simple, but very cool looking.
Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder.
Fair there, forehead. Out of ammunition, perhaps? I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught in the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? Yes. Animated Batman Beyond movie in the Spider-Verse animation style. Oh, that would have been really cool, actually. I didn't know that was planned. Now I'm sad that it's not happening. Man. Fine. I accept the prosecution's challenge. As I knew you would, there, forehead. What exactly am I up against here? Prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it.
The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, here it is. Because they wouldn't have smeared the name on the thing. This is that evidence.
The photograph of the crime scene?
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gabbin's face, but this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. I just want any Batman Beyond movie, to be honest. Yeah, that'd be awesome, especially if they brought back, like, if they brought... I don't know who played Terry, but that'd be cool if they brought him back. Obviously, they can't get Kevin Conroy to play Batman again, like Bruce again, but, you know, yeah, I'd say it could work for the most part. It was announced that it was scrapped. Same with the Wonder Woman game and possibly an Iron Man game. Really? I heard about the Wonder Woman thing. I didn't hear about the Iron Man one getting scrapped. Oh, man. You know, I will say, with the Iron Man movie tie-in game back in, like, 2008 or 9, whenever it came out, it did have this mechanic that I liked where you could, like, switch the power from different parts of the armor to getting, like, other parts of it. So if you wanted to, like, power up your repulsors but, like, depower your thrusters, you could just drain power from the thrusters and put it into the repulsors so that you could do more damage with them and stuff. I thought that was a cool mechanic. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There was something in there that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah?
Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction at the scene of the crime is...
this part. The contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains?
I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I get it. At least I think I get it.
Get what, Fräulein?
When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name?
I have a sneaking suspicion we're getting an absolute Batman movie or show before getting a Batman project. You know, I would be okay with that, as long as they keep it, like, visually as cool as the comic does. The DCU does ever get to their endgame of the DCU, and say Batman dies in an Iron Man kind of way, I'd really want Terry to get the mantle. Yeah. Have it be like a... Like, I heard at one point they even planned, like, kind of like a game after Arkham where Bruce retires, and then it was, I think Damian was the choice to play Batman after that. And, you know, I like Damian well enough, I still probably would have preferred Terry. Have it be like, call it like Arkham Beyond or something. It'd be awesome. Yeah, there is a Wolverine. Oh, yeah. Wolverine Origins, I think. A Deadpool game. Yeah, I want to play the Deadpool game, but apparently it has been delisted, so I would have to find like a yo-ho-ho kind of way to play it, if you catch my drift. But yeah, I'd be up for that. Nolan North did really well on that.
And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat! I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer, and that the killer tried to rub the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Emma. Saw. Once they saw what it was. Work with me on this. Like, the DCU has so much they can do if they do it right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in DC that they can. I just think the most important thing is getting the right Batman actor. I still haven't seen the one with Pattinson. Robert Pattinson, I think his name was, who played Batman. I heard that one was really good, but I haven't seen it. Isn't it called like The Batman? Wait. Yeah, now you got it, Emma. Thank you for catching up.
Once he saw what it was?
The IQ of this courtroom is room temperature right now. But what did you just testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind. Ah!
The Batman is really good. Okay, yeah, I need to watch that at some point then. Honestly, would have been happy if they had Batgirl and Nightwing take up the role. Perhaps Jason taking up the role of Batman despite having psychotic episodes. Yeah, that could work. All of it. Oh, come on, how did they see the blood message? Exactly! Emma, work with me. Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Machi Tobaye, is blind? He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible! Man of Tomorrow and Kind of Superman 2 and the Batman Part 2 released in the same year. Ooh, okay. I'm up for it.
Please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet up until now...
It seems I owe the court an apology.
Oh, actually apologizing.
To Gavin is on a band of his law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, 7 reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner.
Yakiers are introverts with absolute 0 Kelvin of room temperature. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad in here. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us.
Hey, I've got an idea. Let's rock!
With these documents, but before that, I have a question for the four-line detective. If I may.
What?
Tell me. Why do you think that Machi Tobaye is blind?
You know, I guess we were just told that, and I never really thought about it. No shit, the 2 people we accused so far are blind or socially inept. Yeah.
What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Or is he European? Is he blind or European?
Christ, alright.
Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's...
Doesn't Lemira lead him around by the hand all the time?
No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobaye. According to this, Machi Tobaye can see perfectly well.
What? Honestly, if Jason was Batman, then him fighting Scarecrow would be really interesting. Oh yeah. Everything of Clivey saying "Let's rock," I hear Skullgirls and yelling "Showtime" in the same tone of voice. I need to check out Skullgirls at some point.
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy, but his blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well.
But you said...
What did I say exactly? Herr Forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was the four-line detective.
But that's...
a significant fact, yes. Consider, Machi Tobaye sees. And he was the only one who could have fled to the event. I see no problems with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall?
Maybe he's a shit shot, who cares? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe our forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver.
Well, that one's on me.
A simple accident, in other words. I'ma go. See ya, Mari.
Be careful of Cerebella. Despite having her boob physics animation nerfed, they still got jiggled to him. They nerfed the physics? Imagine having to write that in patch notes. Cerebella was found to be too bouncy, so we've nerfed her jiggle physics.
Heck. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies.
Urgh. This is where the real fun begins, Forehead. Yarg!
I knew you didn't have what it took.
You Jack! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah! I like to imagine she's agreeing with it.
Apologize.
Ha ha ha, oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize.
He's angry at the Trucy now. Look out. If we could please end the bickering, now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me.
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant. Don't say that.
Ha ha, ha ha ha.
Aha, what?
This bloodstain, the criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
We might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. Oh, luminol. Yeah. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Ah, yes. Have we done those tests yet? We haven't done it before the trial. Wait, what?
Ah, as if I'm going to tell you.
Are you guys on the same side or not?
The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now.
The carpet?
Right.
The game is very thematic with, oh yeah, okay, so very thematic with old cartoons without going down the rubber hose style and keeping the film real themes. Okay, yeah. I think I know a bit of it. I just don't know all of it. Is that the one with the girl that's like themed after a PS4? These people are crazy. This trial is nuts. Alright.
Right, go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it.
Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. Heard of this somewhere. Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it. Alright.
Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just press A to spray an area. Here, give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
God, let's do this. That looks like a code. Epix 314206. What the fuck? Or 17 YX314206? Hold on a moment, just to check something. Okay, I thought it might be the number on Apollo's attorney badge. Never mind. Wow, it really works.
This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206.
Is that the killer's name? Maybe it is. If the killer was a robot, it was Kibo. Looks like a code you'd see in a CAPTCHA. Pretty much, yeah. But that must prove that it wasn't a robot, because the robot wouldn't have been able to see it. Aha! I have it. So, what is it?
I thought so that this IPXX looked familiar. That is an Interpol ID number.
Interpol?
You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. I didn't even know Apollo's attorney badge had a number on it. I just checked because I knew it had a number, I just forgot what it was.
But why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that? Good show, Fräulein Detective. Rock on.
Eh? Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately.
Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. This trial's taken a while. Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. Nah. Give me 27.
I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent...
Oh wait, I know. What if Machi Tobaye is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tobaye. What are you talking about? Well, detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. I'm guessing right now, if you were to play Skullgirls, you'd hate Vitel for being canonical groomer and the most, and would love Umbrella or Annie, perhaps Philly or Beowulf. Big Man is 100% not you. Is that the one that's it's made of trumpets? Because I might have seen that one. That might be a different game. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until that last bit. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Airforehead? Huh? Me? Machi Tobaye pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? No, that the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything?
Tell you what, guys, I'm gonna go ahead. Big ass man that's a giant saxophone in the trench coat uses instruments to fight. Oh, that sounds funny. I'm guessing it's like a rhythm game thing, which is why exactly I would be a problem for it. Tell you what, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here because this one's been going on kind of a while. This is a fun little stopping point, little cliffhanger, if you will. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Arrowhead, your favorite VTuber Android. The next stream is sometime this week. Keep an eye out for my schedule tomorrow to find out when. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and goodbye for now.